You know how I feel. 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 You know how I feel.
2, 1, 2. Okay. Wow. Okay. You don't see me yet, do you? Well, that's because I'm on my way. All right. Let's see. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Let's give you a look at what we got here. There we are. Hey, everybody. Yeah. Sweet. Welcome. Jackie, thank as always for chiming in. I'm not sure how many people are with us live. There may be very few, or there may be a few, I don't know. But if you are here, we can't see who's here. We can't see who enters or who leaves or whatever. So that's why I love it when you say hello. And then some of you on replay will comment that you're watching on replay. And I really appreciate that too. I want to do this class as long as it serves everyone involved. And so when you chime in, when you share it, when you like it, when you make a suggestion, hey Kelly, when you whatever you contribute to it, it sustains it actually. And so I love it when you guys are on replay. If you ask questions, or if you're watching live, if you say hello, you're not obligated. And I don't know if you're like me, and not everybody. Oh, sweet, Karen, sweet. Well, you picked a good class, Karen, because I think tonight is a good foundations class for you. Karen, or Corinne, I don't know. Corinne, is that, how would you say that, Lolly?
Wait.
You probably can't read it.
Where is it?
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, Karen. I would say Karen unless
Karen,
otherwise,
okay.
Yeah.
So, Karen, welcome, and you picked a good class to join us tonight. We're going to be focusing on currents tonight. So, whatever you're a rookie watcher, but I don't know if you're a beginning hooper, like Karen. Okay, cool. Well, welcome. So, there's about a 9-second delay, Karen, and then also, Karen, if you have any weirdness, if the stream quality looks like really, really bad, if you switch over to my YouTube, it's much clearer. So just FYI. Okay, and my YouTube is HoopPath Backs. We're rarely on time, so I want to just take advantage of this being on timeness. Karen, for anyone else that's watching in real time, echo. Okay, that's because Ann's mic was on. Sorry, guys. All right, no, that's my bad. No, I control it over here now. So hopefully, Jackie, let me know if the echo did not go away just now. It should have. If it's sticking around, please let me know. Okay, cool. All right, so about a 9-second delay, a little bit better to watch on YouTube, HoopPath Backs. We're just going to go ahead and jump into it. So this was by request, and if you ever make a request from me, I love your suggestions and requests, and if I can do them, I will do them. And I have a pretty good track record of doing them. And so this current suggestion. Oh, okay, cool. Huh, 2 months of hooping. Wow, great for you. Good deal. Well, actually tonight, word, you picked a good class to join us, and I won't keep going into that, but I think you're gonna get something out of tonight. So let's see. With me is, give you a shot of her. There she is. With me is my longtime hoop buddy Ann. She has hooped with me since 2005, 6, 5. Okay, and she just released a book, and she's working hard on promoting that book and fulfilling all the orders for that book and all these sort of things. So she's kind of taking this class as a stress reliever tonight, as am I. And I will let you know that. Well, anyway, I don't need to let you know that. Let's just have a fun time tonight. Okay, so I'm going to be playing all these songs are going to be coming off of my iTunes, and I'll be honest with you, I have, oh sweet, Jennifer is here. I will not be, I don't really know which order of these things we will go through. But Karen, if you're watching us, we always start off with something called Sway. You'll see a little slideshow in the bottom corner that sort of tells you what to do, but sway is just free form movement. You just do whatever you want to. You can block me out. Different viewers have told me they put their own music on. Some viewers have told me that they go ahead and start hooping. You can do whatever you want to, but the idea of sway is free form movement, and then I kind of talk while we do it as a sort of way of getting us all on the same page. Audible breath in. Happy Thursday. Thursday may not sound so great if you feel like you haven't done a lot this week. Or Thursday might sound wonderful because you have. We could say anything in between. But however this Thursday lands, I extend to you peace. In fact, I wish for it for you. That over the next hour as you move, that you find anything peaceful. In front of me is referred to as day, my day side. And when I reach out way in front of me, I'm reaching out into my day side. If I fold forward, I'm folding into my day side. And day side is infinite. All that happens behind my sight, behind the meridian of my body, looking from the side, is my night side. What gift and what beauty that hoop can bring to your life is that it puts you in touch with your night side. Probably never before have you really thought about pushing something with your back or feeling a breeze with your back, or even reaching behind you with dexterity and artistry and grace. Our whole world is in front of us in this little box. And hooping helps us move outside that box by reaching behind us where no one would ever put a box. By reaching above us or below us. One of my favorite bumper sticker ideas was grow your own flow. Exactly. Flow isn't what people tell you it is, it's what you feel it is. In anything. All right. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about currents now. Do you feel like that was a long enough sway?
I mean, I'm always up for more, but we'll go with run.
Okay, actually, let's do one guided sort of short sway. Not a full length one, but just a sort of short one. And
Floor, sway, floor.
okay. Awkwardly, Anne is demoing what I'm supposed to be doing. There we go. Now we're on me. Okay, cool. So, one of the things that currents teaches us is that we have a first and a second current. Okay? And so it sort of opens up this kind of two-part type thinking, this kind of complement with an E type thinking, that I have a right side of me and I have a left side of me, right? And that those two sides produce currents that go to the left and they produce currents that go to the right. And so before we get deep into tonight, what I want you to think about, please let me know if the sound or video is not doing the right thing. But what I want you to do is to focus on what we call the little sister tree or the non-dominant tree as you move. So I'm going to move in my sway, right, whatever that is tonight. For me tonight, I'm really feeling like, not that I'm like deep into my legs or anything, but I am feeling like putting more bend in them tonight. But I'm keeping my awareness on my left side, which is my non-dominant side right now. Hey, Daniel. Oh. Big breath in. Where some hoopers come up, struggling when they learn second current is because up until they tried to learn hooping, they didn't realize just how much stronger one side of the body is than the other. And in certain sports, that's not such a problem, but in hooping, it's a problem. And so what I'm asking you to do right now is to really inhabit and move and in a focused way, articulate your non-dominant side. And if you're equally dominant in both sides, then just pick a side. But stay there with that. I feel my weight lunge forward into my left leg. I feel my weight come back into my left leg. I feel my left hand move through air. Right? I'm aware of it. Everything is coming awake. We can feel a human current, and sometimes it's good to go ahead and start here. A lot of stalling involves turning with the hoop, and if you're in a safe space right now, you can begin to try this movement. If I am turning with, if I'm turning any direction right now, my hoop's not there, but I'm turning with or I'm turning back around. Now, we all have different levels of dizzy. This is, I didn't mean for this to come on. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into, yeah, I kind of feel like getting us going pretty fast tonight, actually. How are you feeling? You feel good? Okay, cool.
I was really enjoying I like the slow, kind of lead in.
Actually, you just made me change my mind then. Okay, because I want to stay with that album and do one more that relates to currents, actually. Oops. There we go. Because this is something that I think is important. All right, so go ahead and grab your hoops for me. If you are the sort that uses 2 different sizes of hoops, you can grab your smaller hoops, I guess, if you want to. I always wanted to be a one-hoop hooper. Like, now I've had loads of versions of these, and believe it or not, I'm not sentimentally attached to my hoops as some people. I used to be, but I'm not as much anymore. But I always wanted to have one style that I could do everything with, and there are certain moves that are hard to do with the hoop this big, and there are certain moves that are easier to do with it, and it just sort of works into I don't do a lot of wedgies, escalators, and things like that. Come over, Daniel, join us. Okay, so one current that I want to talk about that's not always so obvious, our whole night tonight is going to be kind of a flow class based on currents. But this is a weave. I am weaving right now. And we're going to go ahead and start with more of a sort of hoop path idea of this weave, meaning that which in the hoop path teaching, right, which is the course that I teach, the goal is to move as much of your body as you can. It doesn't mean you move it in a big way or a small way or anything like that, but you move as much as you can. It's the whole sort of teaching is based on all the fun and yummy things that happen when your whole body feels activated by you, through you. And so as I'm weaving, doing something simple, I'm trying to use my whole body. I have awareness in my hand, I have awareness through my whole head. Now this might be a little bit geeky for you guys, but this is a forward weave, and in hoop path we call this a falling weave. And we call it a falling weave because it comes in to our day side. This is day. It comes in and it falls to earth, so it's a falling. Okay, it's a falling weave. So this would be a falling weave, and it's still falling no matter what hand you have it in, whether you're doing a 2-point or 1-point. Since I know a lot of you that are watching right now, or those that are watching, you've been taking with me for a while, so I know that you're pretty advanced. So you can start to, if you haven't already played with this, you can play with keeping 2 hands on a weave. It's super fun. Elbows can come in from either side. Kind of gives a, sometimes if you haven't done it before, it's like a new feel to an old move. And then with the forward weave, with this falling weave, you can really start to open up your grace. And by this I mean your cradle. Like I can touch the hoop with fewer and fewer hands, fewer and fewer fingers, right? And so as I'm going into these weaves, like right now, I'm just using it just on my middle finger. This is my first finger, and doing a sort of demo of that there. No, the reason that I don't want to get ahead of myself. The reason that I make such a big deal about using no grip whenever possible is not because I'm a jerk. It's because it's so fun, right? Like once you stop gripping the hoop, right? Like once you do a weave and there's no grip at all, it's all just you being at the, all right, so Ann does need to grip just a little bit more. No, but if I am just allowing contact to keep the hoop in as much as possible, it recruits my body, my whole body, into moving it, right? Into moving it well. And so if I'm not directing my hoop, I'm holding the hoop with as few hands this is me just using a weave as on my wrist here. I don't know if you can see that. I didn't set up my close-up camera tonight. Okay, so that's a falling weave. And especially if you're a beginner, this is a great move to get. Rising, right? And so if this is falling, where it's falling into day, rising is when it's coming up from the ground through the sky into night, right? Coming up through, and this is a rising weave. And if you haven't done one of these before, you know, I only recommend it and almost insist on it because it's so fun. Because it's so fun. If you haven't done one of these before, I think I did a whole class or 2 classes on this, but basically I'm holding the hoop here on one side. I'm going to turn it underneath me. Like I'm going to bring my thumbs, or excuse me, my fingers, my smaller fingers are going to come out. I'm going to twist up. Then my wrist is going to break, and I'm going to come over here, right? And so this is like kind of like the weave. This is a sort of wrist breaky type move. So it's here behind me, comes up, right? And then when it gets to this point, it's going to slide around. So I'm in a... No, this is the cool thing, and this is why you want to know all this, right? I hope I'm not losing everybody here. Because, you know, it makes sense, it's obvious physics, but you can change the current of your hoop, or at least how it feels, the current to, just by changing positions. So watch what I'm saying. So right now, the hoop is falling, and it is falling towards this wall in front of me where the speaker, the woman is, right? But if I turn and face the other wall, now the current is rising to me, right? And if I turn back around, thumb transfer, now it's falling again, okay? But do you see, if you were watching this, if I had an LED hoop, the hoop would sort of feel like it's always traveling towards that wall. In fact, throughout this whole sequence, if I ever drop the hoop, it's going to hit the wall behind me. But yet, this is with it falling, and this is with it rising. Now, to get from falling to rising, there's a couple of different things we can do, but I'm doing what's called a thumb transfer. And a thumb transfer is when you use a thumb, or honestly, the way I use thumb transfers is just any finger that works. But as I'm coming through, like in this case, I'll try to lay this out. As I'm coming through here, and I'm going to go from rising to falling, I'm switching here, and it's coming onto my thumb for a hot second. That's the transfer. And then I'm breaking something. No, but so let's see. I'm here, right? And as it comes up, thumb, man. I know, I've never dropped the hoop before. This is crazy. All right, so that's me using a thumb transfer to go here. And this is using a thumb transfer to go here. This is using a thumb transfer to go here. Okay. If you have a question, just let me know. All right, so I'm gonna shut up and let you guys hoop to some music. We'll be playing with these different currents of weaves. Thanks, Jennifer. You guys aren't commenting. That either means that you're busy doing this, or you've bailed, or you're... Usually that's a good sign when people don't comment, but let me know. Okay. A couple more things that I want to point out. And I didn't plan on going this route, but this is kind of worth doing. So, Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely can. And what it will help, Jennifer, she just, if, for those of you that, I don't know if you can see everybody's comments, but she just said it can be tricky to learn that thumb transfer. Feel for the point of contact through the whole thing. If you start, in all of our hooping practice, sweet, good. Anyway, like anytime you're doing any kind of thumb transfer or finger transfer or whatever, you can actually, let's just show this really quick because this is kind of related to what I was going to do. So just spin the hoop any way, left or right, on your hand right now, okay? And then if you can, try and use more of your body that you can, so that you're not like just arming it right now, but that you're kind of using your body. But what feels good to you? Like, I'm a natural bouncer, so it's not a big deal. Now, with that same hand, reverse the hoop. Okay, now for some of you, you just realized that second current does feel a lot different. We think about second current being on the core all the time, but there's a second current in vertical hooping too, right? And just like the other current, if you don't do it, right, it feels weird and awkward. Now the cool thing is that your hand's doing it, so it's a little bit easier to get your hand, our hands are used to learning cool things, our bodies and core not as much or not as easily. So it's easy to make up for disparity in your first current and second current on the hands. And then when you want, you can like samurai that, just meaning I grip it and throw it back. And then this is where, flow can meet function, right? Because if I want to work on both of my currents, I can start to use things like isolations to help me change those currents. It's like, so I'm still going for, I'm getting sort of the mind-body workout still, but it also kind of like looks cool, right? Because I'm using a transition to help me balance between going one way, whoop, and then going the other way. Trust me on this one, I've been hooping since 2001. Just let your body experience the joy of hooping without having to feel accomplishment all the time. Trust me, like it's such a sweeter feeling than accomplishment. Accomplishments always change over time. You think they're these rock solid ideas, but they're not always that way, right? And I think we don't have to bring accomplishment to every aspect of our lives, and hooping doesn't have to be that. You'll become accomplished just by loving it, and just by loving yourself in it, and people will start to say, wow, you're really so good, right? Because I promise the things that are impressing you in the hoop world, nobody else has ever seen, and nobody really cares. Like, we're so deep in our language that we think everybody needs to be blown away with the latest Instagram hotspot. But now Anna's kind of doing already sort of what I was going to suggest that we do, which is start to play with these different currents and rolls. So for instance, we can feel what I was talking about again. I'm rolling with the hoop right now, and it's in a falling current, okay? It's falling. Now if I turn towards the other wall, it's now in a rising, right? Right? And so when you're learning, like if you dig warrior flow at all, or that constant turning motion, it's good to just sort of teach your body. Look, wow. I know. You always have that one game where you realize it's time to hang it up. Maybe this is my... Not really. And then I realize I have another current there, right? And so anytime, like, I'll show you guys from straight on. This is a rising. See that? You see how I'm going from one side of my body to the other side of my body? Switching hands. Oops. Wait a second. Yeah, switching hands. just in case I've lost anybody, what we're working on right now is just flowing with a changing vertical current, right? That's all we're doing right now. And we can do isolations to help us change that current. But what I suggest to you, and in fact I almost insist, is that you give give yourself time in the other current, what we call second current, which is where we're going next. So if I find that one current really, you can do whatever you want to. If I find one current is just, really dominant for me, I'll go to my other current. That I'll add into this, right, and this is sort of a super idea around currents, but one of the earliest old school hoop moves was to go under a leg, which was so easy. It was such an easy thing. But you just take a weave like this, right? And then when you bring it around to what would be this side, you would just come up under the leg. It was a super old school move like that, right? And so you would just, you would bring it down from the weave and just tuck your leg up under it, and depending on your flexibility or whatever, some people would get kind of high and some people would keep it tight. And then if you're ever wanting to work out, this is it. And I'll show you, this is what it looks like if you do it continuous, right? Okay. Now, Ann, do you know what current that is? Yeah, how is that that's a falling current, and does know that. So let me say something a little bit about this. So where these currents can get fun is because a lot of times you've taken that move, you've done it a million times, but you never try to do it in rising current, right? And so it's a little bit different, right? And so instead of bringing it down this way, I'm gonna have to bring it up under, right? And it's a total thumbish type transfer for me to be able to do it. And if I want to reverse that, right? Yeah, there's the reverse. Oops. I'm making a lot of noise with my slides on. I hoop on concrete. That's why I wear slides. Okay. Okay, so this is actually related to currents, but is not related to second current. And I just thought I would just sort of add this really quickly in. We might play, especially based on something that Ann just shared about what's going on for her. And I just want to talk a little bit about this because one of the ways that your flow gets flowy is when you think of it as these flowy, uninterrupted things, right? Like, not that you can't have staccato flow, but just sometimes it helps to think of like water flowing or something like that, and then to think of the hoop as one of these flowing objects. So when I am in a roll like this, I am at any minute, like I am choosing to take the hoop out of the roll in the weave, but only to return it to the roll if I want to. And so one of the ways you can learn passes and barrel roll, or passes and chest rolls and back rolls and all these different things, is to think about the current as it is rolling around you, okay? And so for instance, if I want to do this behind the back pass, right, I know that I'm going to come out rising, but I'm going to start falling, right? And so I'm in this falling current, right? And I'm going to bring the hoop down to my side, but this time my arm is going to get it, and I'm going to turn to change positions, right? I'm going to turn from one wall. So I'm in a rising right now, right? And it'd be really easy for me to, to turn over my right shoulder. I'm holding it in my right hand, and just to turn over. And then if I wanted to do like some kind of behind the back thing, I would just take my right hand, I'm holding my left, it'd be exactly opposite. And I'm just gonna turn to the right, boom. And then this is something I'll kind of show you something from the bird's eye here. Wow, oh, yeah, I think I hit it with the fan, sorry about that. But I wanna show you what I'm talking about. So I'm establishing a current rolling right now, right? And as long as I don't mess up with that current too much, right, then I can start to make all kinds of turns around it. And so instead of thinking about like, oh my God, the hoop is behind me, oh my God, the hoop is in front of me, instead I'm just thinking, oh, the hoop is rolling around my hand. It's rolling around my hand, right? And then I can change how it rolls. Like this is me rolling it up, All right, let's do one more song, and then we'll move into core hoop. And I know we're running a little bit late on this, but.
No, I'm really enjoying this.
So part of the goal of tonight, since a lot of you are experienced hoopers, the goal of tonight is just to remind you about second current, just to remind you about your left arm or your non-dominant arm, or just to remind you about another direction of rolling, spinning, going, around. Oops. Okay, I brought it back right for the end there. Okay, I'll show you what Anne's doing just to give you guys a sense of this. So you can really see with what Anne's doing right now. She's got just a steady forward current going. Oh no, vase casualty. Be careful, guys. She was Trevor was just saying she had a... Good. All right. And I'm just going to kind of go with this vertical rolling thing here for a second here. You can, this is a falling rhythm, right? So I'm going from my hands, and this is me just trying to use my body, and then this is me moving it up to my forearm. This might be me moving it all the way up. You can't really see this right now, but all the way up my arm. And if I want to tuck this other arm in and start to do, these old school moves, I can, right? But what will help you learn them is if you think about the plane that you're creating with the hoop all the time. Right? You're just thinking about the plane. Like imagine it's a waterfall of water that you can put your hand into. If you think of it, that plane in that consistent way, it can help you learn how to interact with it more naturally. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. So, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, go ahead. I think they'll be able to hear you.
I just appreciate the experience of having, a certain kind of a frame in an exercise and being able to do a lot, for example, with just the frame of weaves and approaching it like stretching the weave and doing what else can I do with the weave instead of, kind of like trying to tick off like, okay, now I'm going to work on shoulder hooping and now I'm going to do legs and, really that was another thing that I loved about HoopPath classes all through my early years was just immersion into detail and then more and more detail and kind of, really delving into what's there. So I was really appreciating that because, I had some little breakthroughs.
Nice. Okay, I hope you guys were able to catch what Ann said. It was nice. She was saying, if you didn't get to hear what she said, she was basically saying that she really enjoys just sort of having kind of the freedom to explore only one thing like second current or whatever that thing is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. This song is going to get us kicked off, but it's my favorite warm-up song right now, I think. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump on the core really fast now. We're going to get this, some things I want to talk about. Actually, I think this song is going to get me messed up, so let's go with this one. I don't think it'll get me kicked off of Facebook. All right. Don't take any foolish chance. Okay, all right, so we are moving around now, and I want you to be in the first direction of hoop that you've ever learned on the core. This most likely, I'm guessing, was the first direction that you ever felt, and we call this your first current. Maybe you're aware of this, maybe you're not aware of this, but there's lots of little math problems that your brain is figuring out right now. The fastest processor we have right now is making all of these different little calculations. And it's always trying to find like a stasis point where it's enough to keep it up. And so once it's enough to keep it up, we've achieved the objective of dropping the hoop. Now we can tell the brain to take on even more because we've got this crazy fast processor. So we can say, like Ann is doing, I want to make it look like I'm just dancing right now, or I want to move my hands as I'm doing this, right? And unlike almost everything else, it loves the work. Our brains love the work. They love that feeling of learning, right? They love the feeling of being challenged. That's why you always feel good when you learn something. There's a reason for that. And so as I'm moving my arms, if I make this a priority, right, then my brain is learning how to do that. And then you can't help but your brain is always going to learn better, right? That's a gift of something, is that we always get better, right? And so now we're moving our hands to this, and then we say, like, okay, well, I want to move my feet to this. And then we might want to say, like, okay, I want to add, like, some, like, physical balance to this. Like, I want to, like, hop up on one or whatever. I want to add some range to my hands. And then we decide to reverse the hoop, and we go the other direction. Now, if we've been hooping a long time, or if you've been hooping in the hoop path, no big deal. If you've never done this before, it's a huge deal, and suddenly you feel awkward and you feel like uncomfortable. And what I invite you to do is just do what you did the first time. Love every little piece of the learning process. Just love it like you did the other way. Don't think about what you already have in that current, because that's like how good you are at speaking English. It doesn't affect how good you'll be at speaking French, right? Or Spanish, or whatever two languages, right? So I'm in second current right now, and then I'm going to try to remember all those things that I was working on just 30 seconds ago. Moving my hands, moving my feet, second current in shoulder. And I teach myself this process here. And essentially, one way you can sort of inspire yourself to keep hooping, if you are the sort that likes to have like a list, try to do everything you can do in first current and second current. You'll get there. I mean, I've seen like maybe a few exceptions where there was one particular move that I could not get in both currents, but generally I can get everything. Oh, I like this track. Actually, all right, we're going to use this track for this is kind of for experienced hoopers, but we're going to do second current shoulders right now. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about second current shoulders. Do we have enough time to do this? Oh, yeah. Well, sort of. First of all, full disclosure, by the time you become really good at second current shoulders, nobody will know what the hell you're talking about. Like, this is, sweet Karen. This is something that nobody will care about but you, right? But it can take so long to get second current shoulders, right? And so I'm just going to give a few pointers about this. Pay attention to the path of contact, whether you're going around your waist, you're going around your shoulders, whatever. Pay attention to the path of contact, right? You don't have to do anything with it, just pay attention to it, right? And it will start to kind of inform your body, right? Like it'll help you know where to be. And especially in second current, try a blindfold. I love to do a blindfold when I'm learning second current or teaching second current. What Anna's doing right now is kind of an Ann Humphreys move in a way of doing sort of mountaintop stepping. So it's based on a story of my dance. It's based on a my dance story that she had came through her, but she's basically stepping from one mountain to another mountain, and she's creating that mountain shape with her body while she's doing that. Right, her arms are coming wide. I don't know why this is happening. All right, there we go. Sort of see it when it's really up high, how her stepping is working. Now, are you in first or second current? Doesn't matter. Yeah, so she's in second current right now. You wouldn't know it. And that's a decent size hoop. What size hoop do you have there?
31.
She's hooping a 31, and Anna's about 6'4", so gives you some sense of scale. Just kidding. Sorry for the camera angle. I hit it. I can't really correct it right now. I want to show you a little something about shoulder hooping here while we're here, because it's definitely, so I'll be in second current. My currents are pretty equal in the shoulders. But I want to show you something. This is day side push. This is when my arms, you see how my arms are pushing out in front of me? That's a day side push, right? If I start to bring my arms, if I start to bring my arms behind me at all, or their movement behind me at all, that's night side push. And I don't need to overemphasize it, but usually it's just neglected. And so it can really help your shoulder flow, especially in second current. Sometimes if you think about my night side, like this is, do you see how my elbows are pushing behind me? That's night side push. See if I can, this is me leaning into my night side, which is.
I'm 8 months in and I'm 4 months out. I got 3 new enemies with lots of doubt. I used to be the bitch that would never front. Now my wallet is empty and you're taking me to lunch. One more day and no damn news. Hello, smoke a joint and get me a brew. I like cold, crisp beer. Summertime in Austin, the best time of year. Ladies on the streets and men's on the girls. Take a little time to admire the curls.
I think it's a mix, and I don't know who the original is.
We'll take it slow. No, you just want my ladies. So I know you're tight, you're gonna get rough. I ain't no girl on the block, you better watch your head.
I got sour milk in the fridge and I'm heading to the corner store.
Yeah, I just realized that we are into our free hoop, so we'll make this the free hoop time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll just move into free hoop from here. Thank you.
And I'm heading to the corner store. If you wanna get with me, you better realize it's gonna be hardcore.
I'm on my knees, I'm not praying to God. Look in my eyes, give me a nod. Let's get it on like we did yesterday. Come on, let's do it, I got a party today. Grab your friends, they can all stay over like a new age slumber party. I know you wanna. You can bring Sarah, Laura, Jimmy, Jane, ooh, and even Donna. Minis on the streets and minis on the girls. Take a little time to admire the curls. All dressed up and nowhere to go. I said, hey, come to my place, we'll take it slow. No, you just want my ladies. So I know you're tight, you're gonna get rough.
Oh shit, I just wanna call you, man. I got sour milk in the fridge and I'm heading to the corner store. Every time I walk by, you looking at me like you want some more. I got sour milk in the fridge and I'm heading to the corner store. If you wanna get with me, you better realize it's gonna be hardcore. I got sour milk in the fridge and I'm heading to the corner store. Every time I walk by, you look at me like you want some more. I got sour milk in the fridge and I'm heading to the corner store. If you wanna get with me, you better realize it's gonna be hardcore.
Damn, what a weekend that was. Shit, man. Yo, what was that dude lying on my couch still? So much cleanup. Hey, you. I paid 5 cents deposit for that. You be leaving my cans. Alright. I'm out of here, man. Taking my girls, guys, taking it all. Moving on. Right, brother? What was that? What was that bitch talking about that sour milk in her fridge? I have no idea what. No idea, anyways. Alright. Later on.
All right. Okay, sweet. Nice. Okay, actually, we don't want to play that one right now. We don't. No, we don't. No, we're not going for that right now. All right, so maybe we'll finish off the night with one. Yeah, okay, we got time. All right, we're gonna do sort of this kind of.
I think, therefore I am. Therefore I am.
This is kind of a fun, upbeat. This is sort of the song I don't normally kind of rock out to, but I really love Upsilon. I think they're really good. So this is sort of a medium. It's upbeat, but I think you can chill either way to it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kelly. We will be back on Monday night. We'll be back with our class. I'm thinking about doing a Saturday thing, but it's really just an experiment. If I do a Saturday class, it will be at 11 Eastern Standard. It won't be a class, it'll be a jam. So it's really more of an experiment. So Saturday, I think I might be doing a jam at 11 if you want to watch. That's all right, Tiff. Tiff, you've got cred. there's anybody that has cred, you have cred. You're welcome, Jennifer. Thank you.
The world is an illusion, and that the real world and universe is a non-physical.
Yeah, actually, Kelly, that's what I was thinking about. I sort of want to see what it would be like for West Coasters to maybe see if they could wake up early with me. So we'll see how that goes. All right, what do you think? Should we do one more? All right, we're going to slow it down. This is sort of a super happy song to kind of end the night on. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'll see you Saturday. We'll just go ahead and make it a thing. Saturday at 11 o'clock, I'll do a jam if you want to join us. Your donation. That was super generous. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a great night, and I will see you Saturday if you want to join me. 11 a.m. New York City time.